Hello folks, I hope that you can hear me and the sound quality is good, because there has been a slight change to my channel, of which I've left my phone in the car. Yes, that is not the phone, that is a GoPro. I am now a proper YouTuber and now have a better camera. So hopefully the camera quality and the stabilization will be a heck of a lot better. For those who want to know, this is a GoPro Hero 7 Black. It's second-hand. I don't justify buying something that is essentially a hobby. It's not my job, it's not my profession, although some people might say it is a semi-job considering that I'm now earning from YouTube. Ridiculous. I don't know how things have happened that way, but it's happened. But this is a hobby, and I bought this second hand for £150 with all the accessories and mounts, and I've been having a bit of a play around, and this episode is a bit of a play around, and I thought that we'd start with this car. As you can see, I've given this car a massive wash. It's been washed to an inch of its life, and she's come up so nicely. The headlights are starting to fade again after 12 months, but on the whole, she's actually really looking fantastic. The bumper's obviously, it's had a lot of motorway miles, this bumper, recently, but still, Project Beatrix is a car that I've seldomly looked at very recently, but she continues to run impeccably, which is why I've done nothing on this car. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity for taking this car on a drive and just having a bit of play around with some nice camera shots and some waffling, but not too much waffling. My videos are going to be a bit shorter from now on. They're going to be no more than half an hour. Well, that's what I intend anyway. Anyway, let's take this car on a drive and enjoy. This car has been the staple of my diet, my car diet, the last 12 months, and the total investment I gave to that car in the first place has paid off. It's completely paid off. We've only had niggles like the brake fluid issue, which now is not a problem. The brake pedal is now as firm as anything. It is absolutely fantastic. This car is just a pleasure to drive. It's so precise on steering. I don't think there's many cars you can get better for the value of money that you paid for such a thing. And that's the truth. How many cars can you say that look really decent, have a feel of decent quality to them? I would say that there is less quality than the pre-project drive cars, but at the same time, you shouldn't really dismiss something as late as this. They are very, very usable modern day classics. You have a decent camera view. I'm still getting used to the various camera angles. This video is going to be about experimenting with different camera angles. There's nothing much that I can add that I've already said about this car. Such a pleasure to drive in every department. I have very few issues with this car. Steering is so precise. The way it just sticks to the bends. It's so linear. Double wishbone front suspension working very, very nicely at the front, and the rear suspension, the rear Honda independent suspension, just so tight, functional and comfortable, but without being wallowy, too wallowy I should say, but pointy, which is incredible because this car has quite a long wheelbase for a hatchback. It's not a hatchback, The Rover 45 is, it's not a hatchback. It's bigger than a hatchback, but it's not a saloon. It's smaller than a saloon. It's not pretending to be a hatchback or a saloon. It's both. It's got the nimbleness of a hatchback, but the practicality of almost a saloon car. That is definitely a class of its own. Oh wait, it is a Rover, of course. Perfect. Right, I've just parked up after just a bit of a drive around the block, a couple of errands that I've just done with the camera switched off. Honestly, I don't know what else you can get for this kind of money and have this amount of quality car in front of you. It's got everything that I need, and some excessive cracks. That windscreen is actually going to remain on the car. It will be like that for the Pride of Longbridge. The truth is, I am going to get my money's worth out of this windscreen. It's cracked and it's got a chip somewhere around here. Well, it's not a chip that will fail the MOT, but the point is, this is what the birds think of it. This is a functional windscreen and it will do for the time being, considering nothing else really needs to be done. There is one thing that probably needs to be done, and that is the back box. The back box on this car isn't brilliant. It is quite raughty. I mean, I can actually, if I start her up for you, you can hear the problem. Now, it's always been a bit boomy. I'll just put my foot on the gas. A bit raspy and boomy because the baffles have completely shaken themselves out. I can't touch the exhaust to shake it for you, but you get the picture. The baffles have, it's slightly gone, and I suspect it could be the original back box, but it's got no holes in, and it is a little bit more boomier than what it was before. So I am going to change that back box at some point, probably towards the end of this year. I don't know. It's possibly how annoying it kind of gets, but honestly, listen to this peach of a K series. Even the birds are pooing on the bonnet. Ironically, this is the place I took the car. This is the exact road I brought the car to when I actually MOT'd it successfully for the first time, and the car was nowhere near finished at that stage. I just needed a ticket on it, and that was a very, very good day. We got some condensation. I'm really annoyed about that. The other one on that side is absolutely fine, but I might get a replacement. Unfortunately, when you get condensation, there's nothing you can really do about it. I've given the wheels a bit of a scrub up. They've come up nice, and the discs are bedded in very, very nicely in there. Everything's looking good. There's no hint of corrosion at all. I mean, I can sort of drop you under here. If you look in the usual place, got some surface, but it's only surface, but there's just nothing there. The Dynax has done its job perfectly. Yeah, headlights need a bit of a polish, but inside the engine bay it's absolutely immaculate. The badge has come up nicely as well. Just give that a bit of a wash and a bit of a coat of polish on the fate trim, but it's come up really nicely. It seems to have some effect, but yeah, I will be giving the headlights a bit of a wet sand and polish before the Pride of Longbridge. I'm vast aware that is approaching round the corner, and I don't see any other issues with this car, including the drive plate. The drive plate rattles, but it is a characteristic of the CVTs. If you have a car that if it rattles really badly, worse than mine, then you may want to get it replaced. But look at the slim profile of this car. I really love it, especially in this light. This is the evening light, guys. This is, I always used to joke this was the perfect time to view any of my cars, because generally they are a sort of 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock car, where the light is starting, the sun is starting to set, and you get this glow of warmth, but you don't get direct sunlight. And as you can see, it's just beaming. Look at that bonnet, absolutely beaming. I love the bonnet swage lines. One here, and then it jumps up, and then you get a line here, and it jumps up again, and then you get a line there. It's very, it feels traditional Rover, almost Rover P5 style. I'm not joking. If you look at a Rover P5 back in the day, look at the bonnet and the way the bonnet louvers up and then it ribs it in the middle. You look at that car, the Rover designers, the stylist who designed this car was the same man who styled the 600 and the 75. Go and look at his designs. Brilliant man, very, very clever, and he definitely took inspiration. And I think this is as close to a virtual successor to a P5 as it gets. I know some of you are going to laugh at that, but actually the P6 never replaced the P5, but it wasn't really the same sort of car. It was more mainstream, more mass produced. Obviously this was mass produced, and so was the Rover 75, and you would obviously imagine the Rover 75 being sort of the P5B modern equivalent on wheels. I get the point in that, but actually I think this is rather overlooked because there's more Honda bits to it. I prefer a Honda Rover than a BMW Rover, and that's what a Rover 75 is in a nutshell, I'm afraid. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here. I hope you've enjoyed some of the lovely camera shots. I've enjoyed filming this and sticking my tripod in all sorts of manner of places. Maybe I'll do a video now, because my smartphone is now available. I could probably do a video on, if you're a YouTuber or if you're willing to do a bit of camera work yourself, maybe what sort of tips I can give you. I've learnt a lot today, and there's so much that I don't know myself. I'm going to leave this here today.